Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that the company that defined the internet for the past 25 years, the company whose name became a verb that billions of people use every single day, just lost the most important battle in the history of the technology industry. Not to a startup, not to a new platform nobody had heard of, but to a company that most people spent years dismissing as the boring office software company that made PowerPoint and Excel. Microsoft. And the weapon Microsoft used to defeat Google was not a better search engine. It was not a faster algorithm. It was not a smarter AI. It was a single decision made 3 years ago that Google had every opportunity to make first and chose not to. And that single decision has now created a gap between what Microsoft's AI can do and what Google's AI can do, that Google's own engineers are privately describing as the most alarming competitive position the company has ever been in. This is not a prediction. This is not a forecast. This is what is happening right now in 2026 inside the two most powerful technology companies on Earth. To understand why Microsoft just won the most consequential technology battle of this decade, you need to understand what was actually at stake. Google controls 91% of the global search market. Google processes 8.5 billion searches every single day. Google's advertising business generated over $237 billion in revenue in 2025. For 25 years, Google owned the internet's front door. Every time any person on Earth wanted to find information, buy a product, research a decision, or answer a question, they walked through Google's door. And Microsoft just built a better door. Microsoft's Copilot, powered by OpenAI's most advanced models and deeply integrated into every product Microsoft sells, is now being used by over 300 million people. Monthly inside Word, Excel, Teams, Outlook, and every other tool that businesses around the world depend on daily. Microsoft did not try to beat Google at search. It made search irrelevant for the most valuable category of user on the internet, the business user who needs answers, not links. Read that again. Microsoft did not compete with Google. It made Google's core product unnecessary for the audience that generates the most advertising revenue on Earth. If that strategic move does not make you understand why Google's internal situation is being described as alarming, hit like and subscribe right now, because what Google is doing in response makes this story even more significant. So what exactly did Microsoft do that Google cannot easily counter? Everything comes down to distribution. Microsoft Office is installed on over 1.5 billion devices worldwide. Every business that uses Word, Excel, or Teams already has Microsoft Copilot sitting inside the tools they use every hour of every working day. Microsoft did not need to convince anyone to download a new app. It did not need to build a new platform or change anyone's habits. It simply activated AI inside software that was already open on every business computer on Earth. Google's response, its Gemini AI assistant, requires users to go to a separate product, change their workflow, and consciously choose to use a new tool. Microsoft's AI is already there, already open, already inside the document you're working on right now. That difference in distribution is not a minor advantage. It is an architectural advantage that Google cannot replicate without building an entirely new enterprise software ecosystem from scratch. And Microsoft has a 30-year head start on that ecosystem. But here is what nobody is telling regular people about why this battle between Microsoft and Google affects their daily lives in ways that go far beyond which company makes more money. The AI system that becomes the primary interface between people and information in the coming decade will have enormous influence over what people know, what they believe, and what decisions they make. Google built its influence through search, a system where the user chooses what to look for and the algorithm decides what sources to surface. Microsoft's Copilot model is different. It does not surface sources for you to evaluate. It synthesizes information and delivers conclusions, recommendations, and completed work products directly. The shift from a system that helps you find information to a system that tells you what the information means is not a minor product update. It is a fundamental change in the relationship between people and knowledge. And Microsoft just won the race to be the company that controls that relationship for the most influential users on Earth. The bottom line is this: Microsoft did not beat Google by being smarter. It beat Google by being earlier, by making a $13 billion bet on OpenAI when Google still believed its own internal AI was sufficient, and by having the distribution infrastructure to deploy AI where people already work rather than asking them to come to a new place. Google is not finished. Google has resources, talent, and technology that most competitors cannot match. But the window in which Google could have prevented Microsoft from establishing AI dominance inside enterprise software closed before Google moved through it. And the company that controls how businesses interact with AI controls the next 20 years of the technology industry. Microsoft just took that position. Hit the like button and subscribe to Quantum Pulse, because this is the kind of strategic shift that reshapes trillion-dollar industries, and most people miss it while it is happening.